What on earth is going on at BYU? Now, again, I understand. I don't know anything about quarterbacks or recruiting or football or the transfer portal or NIL. I'm
But
lost
you are Mormon and you are dying and you're old.
and I'm fat.
Right.
I don't, I don't even watch Colorado football. Can anybody explain to me why Jake Retzlaf has not been named the starting quarterback at BYU? So I need to understand it. I don't. If you follow me on the old tweet machine, you've seen, I think he is far and away the starting quarterback at BYU. I think he's beaten out Gerry Bohannon.
Well, and I think the long-term play is what Jake's value truly is. I mean, you look at the fact that he's a redshirt freshman, and you look at the fact that he's got these several years of eligibility left. Like, I don't understand why BYU fan can't say to themselves, "Hey, you know, Gerry's in his last year, so if we were to start him, then we're in a place where this guy's going to be here for 1 year max, and that's it. And then we're going to have to put a new guy in there versus, hey, let's make Jake the starter." Because you can't have it both ways. You can't say, oh, well, this quarterback competition has been amazing and, it's so close. And then say that Gerry's miles ahead of Jake Retzlaf. You can't have it both ways. And in my opinion, I think that Jake Retzlaf is the clear-cut choice because of the eligibility,
I agree.
because of the fact that he knows the offense so damn well, mainly because he's been studying it and he's been working on it for however long now, way before Gerry was in the program. And ultimately, the guys like Jake a lot. Not to say they don't like Bohannon, but Jake has those relationships in place since last year. Like, this is somebody who's already been in the offense and on the field.
If you read the comment section and you listen to what BYU fans of some percentage of BYU fans, one of the major arguments is Jake Retzlaf choked last year. Well, Jake Retzlaf last year did not have a spring session, did not know the offense in the fall, and was never the starting quarterback and was never getting reps with the ones. And then all of a sudden they threw him in, and you expect a guy who is new into the program, doesn't know the offense, didn't have spring ball, doesn't have chemistry with his player, with his wide receiver specifically, flux on the offensive line. You just expect that guy to succeed.
Wait, are you talking about Jake or are you talking about Gerry?
And but again, I think it's really important to focus on Jake Retzlaf last year, not understanding the issues that impact a quarterback's success and failure. It's what I say. It's what I just said about Deion Sanders and Colorado. If you don't understand, you have to do nothing more than tell me that Jake Retzlaf choked last year to let me know that you don't know dick about BYU football. The idea that you threw a quarterback into the fray with no spring ball and coming off a major surgery, by the way, which is why he missed spring ball, really didn't have a full summer of conditioning because of that surgery. Came to fall ball, was never in the conversation as a starter, was always a backup, was always with the twos. And then mid-year, you just threw him in as a starter. And did he make mistakes? Absolutely. Did he turn the ball over? Absolutely. Did he throw a bad pick six? Absolutely. Should that condemn him as not a good quarterback who choked last year? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I think you have to look no further than Zach Wilson's trajectory and arc at BYU. He wasn't a home run right out of the gate. No, he was not. And I look at Jake Retzlaf's history. He has been a stud everywhere he's been. I look at the way he has performed through spring, through summer offseason, this fall camp. I think he has clearly been the starting quarterback at BYU since day one of offseason. He has chemistry. He has a command and control of the offense, the language, the game plan, the schematics. He understands it. You look at the ball, and we have not seen a lot of live reps from either guy. The live reps we have seen, Jake Retzlaf has been spotless. He has thrown 1 interception in fall ball, no interceptions in spring ball. He is a redshirt freshman with multiple years of eligibility. And you're going to start a 1-year guy with a history of injury who hasn't won where he's been.
What are we doing?
And does not have chemistry and does not have a command and control, certainly not at the level that Jake Retzlaf has in this offense. Come on. What are we even talking about?
What are we doing?
What are we even talking about? There is no doubt in my mind that Jake Retzlaf is the starting quarterback at BYU. And camp ends tomorrow, I think it is their last official practice of fall camp. You need to name Jake Retzlaf the starting quarterback. When camp breaks, he's got to be the starting quarterback.
Yeah, you can't go into your first game of the year with a quarterback. Controversy might be strong, but just questions of who's going to play.
Yeah, I think it'll be very interesting to see where he comes down.
And again, I've said multiple times, so I understand when Aaron Roderick's like, hey, we're going to let the competition play out and the team will know who the starter is based on the results on the field. I understand the premise of that. I understand, hey, that's the best way to do it. So there's no bias. Like, we'll let the throws and everything speak for itself. But we're kind of late now. I feel like everyone's announced their quarterback and you still haven't announced your quarterback. And when you see the Utes as an example come out and say through Kyle Whittingham, hey, obviously Cam is our starting quarterback, but hey, we've got this young guy, Isaac Wilson, sitting behind him who is ready to go, who showed out in camp. Like, if Cam gets hurt, we got a guy behind him. Like, we're in a good place. That's like, you want to come out and say that stuff. You want to have that momentum. And I feel like, again, you can't have it both ways. If BYU fan who's hating on Jake Retzlaf doesn't want to admit that, hey, yeah, you should have named a quarterback, or you at least at a minimum need to name one before the end of your last practice, because if you don't, then there's a huge question mark. Like I just don't know what how you're looking at this program and saying, man, that's a good idea to just keep this thing going on. You have to put it to bed.
He's a guy that in high school, at both of his stops in junior college, he's been a star. The guy has been an elite thrower of the ball. He's got 2 years of eligibility left here, man. I just don't even think it's a close conversation. I mean, I just don't think it's a close conversation.
What happens if you name Jake Retzlaf a starter and he comes out and, you win 8 games?
Well, even more to the point, what if he's a bust? You got Gerry Bohannon sitting there. Great. Best case scenario. What if you name Gerry Bohannon the starting quarterback? I think you're going to lose the team. I do. I think you're going to win 4 or 5 games. And I think you are going to have a quarterback controversy all year long. And I would expect Jake to transfer. Just my opinion. If you're Jake Retzlaf, what are you hanging around for? They don't want you there.
Yeah.
You performed exceptionally well all through. And I'm not at all in any way, shape, or form married to either guy. I think if you're a BYU fan and you're rooting for Gerry Bohannon, I think you are absolutely lost, because this team is not a factor this season in the Big 12 or for the college football playoffs. And if you want them to be a factor next year, you better hope that Jake Retzlaf wins that job. Because my opinion is Jake has done everything you've asked him to do. He's performed at an exceptionally high level the last 2 weeks in camp. You look at the scrimmages, Gerry Bohannon simply has not outplayed him. And if you are going to take the job from Jake Retzlaf, Gerry Bohannon had better have outplayed him, and he has not. Because the chemistry, the relationships, the work, the offseason, that's all Jake Retzlaf's team. To go into fall ball, not get outperformed, and still lose your job, that's when I'm going to have a problem with it. Because if I don't want to hear this nonsense if they give this job to Gerry Bohannon, oh, Gerry was just the better quarterback. Okay, well, that's not what you've said. That is not what you've said. And if we take Aaron Roderick and Kalani Sitake at face value, which why would we not? If we take them at face value and it's an even competition, Jake Retzlaff's your starting quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
End of story. It's just one of those things where I feel like this is not a tough decision.
It's pretty straightforward, and it's it would be especially surprising as well when you look at the situation Kalani's in. I mean, Kalani needs to perform this year. They need to have a good year, and I just the having a good year for a football team starts with having your quarterback room in order, and from there you can build as a team.
And I will again say, it's the same thing I say as always. I think they know who it is. You can't tell me that we're 10 days away from kickoff and they don't know who their starting quarterback is. If that's the case, you have much bigger problems than we all know and suspect. And my guess is,
Right.
You just look at the film that's available to us and you talk to guys in Provo. Jake Retzlaf has looked really good. He has not turned the football over. I think very clear. You look at the guy throw the football, he looks like a better quarterback this year than last year, which, again, with zero preparation in an offseason last year, I think the guy performed well. Did he win games? No. But if you go back to that Oklahoma game, I think we could all agree they should have won that game. Should have, could have. They didn't. It doesn't matter. But my point is, all of the BYU fans that are vilifying Jake Retzlaf, I don't know what you're looking at. And I get it. It is what BYU fan does. BYU fan loves to be masochistic and just pound themselves on the shins with rebar.
It's classic.
That's what BYU fan loves to do. So I'm just saying. Tanner Plummer, based on what reporters have seen from training camp, they're leaning towards Gerry.
I don't know.
So there's
Gerry
a third
is.
quarterback now? Who's Gerry? Gary Johansson?
Oh, you mean OG Gerry?
OG Gary's the star. Okay. Okay. That'll be interesting. Good to see you, Tanner. BYU probably knows who the quarterback is, doesn't want any team to know, making it complicated. Probably. Glenn says, Monty, you forgot to add and burn the BYU t-shirt. Well,
right.
There is that. According to reports, Jake hasn't really outplayed Gerry. It's not Gerry. It's Gerry Bohannon either. I do think Jake should be the starter, but it may not be as clear-cut as you guys think it is. It's not clear-cut. If neither guy has separated themselves, you're giving the job to Jake Retzlaf. Why would you give it to Bohannon? Gerry Bohannon. I just think you can't really take what Kalani and A-Rod say at face value because their remarks are the definition of coach speak. But what else do you have to go on? What else do you have to go on?
Nothing.
And I'm not having covered those two guys for well over a decade. They're both men of integrity. So why would I question them or second guess them? I would not do that. And knowing people in Provo and talking to people in Provo and seeing, you look at the live reps that we saw from Jake Retzlaf, the guy is accurate with zip. The ball he throws a beautiful ball that's easy to catch. I still maintain one of the most important players on this offense is Cody Epps. He has incredible chemistry with Cody Epps. The ball yesterday to Cody Epps was incredible. Dime piece. Whether he's in the action we've seen him with the twos, in the action we've seen him with the ones. I mean, what have you seen from Jake Retzlaf in camp that you don't like?
I think that's the problem. People don't see a lot.
He had a tough couple of days in week 1. Other than that, he's been pretty flawless. I don't know that there's a whole lot you don't like. That to me is interesting. Mike Smith, I think the reports are that Jerry Springer is ahead of Jake for the position. Anybody see that Phil Donahue died yesterday? If you don't know who, you probably don't know who Phil Donahue is. Phil Donahue's a legend. A legend. The guy's remarkable. Jeremy Severe, BYU likes shiny and new instead of old and known. BYU has struggled with development. Difference between BYU and Utah. Well, I think Cam Rising is the first in a long line of prolific quarterbacks at Utah.
Could be. Absolutely. I mean, he's anchored that team.
Very well could be.
And they were not the same without him.
And when he took over, and I think this is a very interesting parallel between BYU and Utah. I can't even remember the cat's name, the noodle arm quitter quarterback from a couple of years ago.
God, yeah, I don't remember his name either.
Who came in from Baylor and then went to Liberty.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about, yeah.
Cam Rising won that job, and they didn't give it to him. And what happened? The team sputtered. This is the exact same situation. This offense is better when you have Jake Retzlaf under center. Just as a matter of chemistry, he's a likable guy that gets along with his teammates.
Don't mess it up.
Plain and simple. And so it's a very interesting, I would agree with you that they like shiny and new, you know. Sadly, no, Jimmy Mack officially graduated in 2014. Jim McMahon. It's my guy. That is my guy. Whoa. Tanner Plummer, you're talking about Brewer. Is that his name?
Charlie Brewer.
Charlie Brewer. There you go. Who is this Phil dude? It's not very nice. It's not very nice. Jake's never heard of Phil Donahue. Oh, you're so cool, Charlie Brewster. What movie was that line from? Brewster's Million, I hope. I don't know. Phil Donahue, Notre Dame alum. And noted puller of hot middle-aged women. Phil Donahue.
Don't you know who I am?
Phil Donahue.
Stud.
Rest easy, my guy. Hour number 2 of the Monty Show, of course, is always presented by Canyons Golf. Canyons Golf in Park City. Resort-style golf, municipal prices in the heart of the Canyons Village. Park City Mountain Resort, Canyons Village. Spectacular. We were up there last weekend listening to a concert being played while we were playing golf. It was awesome. Did not drive the ball particularly well last weekend, but in the backyard golf dojo last night, working on the iron swing. Do you guys ever like watching video of yourself swinging a golf club? Absolutely not.
No,
I hate it. Working on my iron swing and seeing all the ugliness. Be ready to rock and roll this weekend because I am looking to set a personal best at Canyons this weekend. My personal best there right now is 77. I am looking to shoot a 75 this weekend. Driver looks clean and nice right now. We'll see. Played Sunday and couldn't drive a car, let alone a golf ball.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. A lot of golf to come. And I believe, ask Siri how far until November 23rd.
Hey, Siri. How many days until November 23rd? Hello? 95 days.
There are 95 days until I play golf at Kapalua, the plantation course. 95 days. And there's a hole, and it might be 18, I don't know. There's that hole that's like 600 yards, and you drive the ball. It's where they play the Century, so you drive the ball, and it just goes for days. It's like a 400-yard drive. I'm ready for that. It's a 400-yard drive and a 230-yard 5-iron. And it is, to me, this is just my opinion,
yeah,
but it is, to me, one of the best holes in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
So I am excited to hit Kapalua in 95 days.
You should be. It's going to be awesome.
I am ready. I am, and I'm working on it. And then over Christmas, we'll be playing. Mrs. Monty and I are going through Las Vegas on the way to LA. So we're going to play Las Vegas National. And I think we're probably going to go back to Lake Las Vegas, which was pretty good. And then we're going to be staying in Newport at Pelican Hill. So I'm hoping to play 2 good rounds of golf at Pelican Hill.
Yes.
Looking forward to it. And then the week of Christmas, gonna, of course, yeah, Canyons Golf. I'm not going to ask that. I don't need the hate. Canyons Golf in Park City, the official golf resort of the Monty Show. Book online. Just search Canyons Golf Park City. You can book online. It is an easy experience. It is high level of service, concierge style service. GPS on your cart. They give you a cooler with ice on your cart. Beautiful, beautiful drives. You're a lot of elevated tee boxes, a lot of great drives where you can watch your ball fly. And the beautiful thing, the thing that I like about Park City Mountain Resort is it's one of the best resorts in the world. I get great restaurants. I get great entertainment. You know, watching deer run across the golf course last week, like you just see it all at Park City Mountain Resort. And Canyons Golf, for me, if I'm hitting my driver at all, even reasonably well, I'm playing driver, short iron, which I love. I love it.
It's the way to go.
Canyons Golf. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Marty program.